I don't know how many people I will have tonight, but if you can jump in for a few minutes, that's fine. If not, you can watch this later. But thanks for joining me whenever you do join me. This is the November Paper Pumpkin box. It's a monthly subscription that you can start and stop at any point that you want. If you want to take a break, come back to it, you can do that too. So, but it's a monthly subscription that you can sign up, and if you sign up with me as your demonstrator, then and use my special link, then you can, I will get credit for your purchase. So that will help me out. So I'd appreciate it. Just email me if you don't have my link. I can send it to you. Okay. Let's see. So this is designed to make 15 gift cards. Problem being that you might not need 15 gift cards. You might only need 2 or 3. So what do you do with the rest of the stuff? So that's why we have the alternative stuff that we do with our paper pumpkins. And there is a website, not a website, a Facebook group that is all about a paper pumpkin. And if you have any questions about what you can do as an alternative for your paper pumpkin kit, you won't have any problem after going to that Facebook group, and anyone can join. So I can give you the link to that too. I can invite you to that. All right. So yeah, my email is carolbcrafts@hotmail.com, just in case you didn't know. Let's see. Let's get started. So this is what we did last week when we did what the paper pumpkin projects were, designed to be. We did 3 adorable little gift card holders, and then they come with envelopes as well. So this would be an adorable way to give a gift of a gift card. So I have 3 of those that we did last week, and I hope you enjoyed that. If you need more gift cards, make more gift cards. But if you don't, I have a couple of alternatives for you tonight. And those alternatives are, we'll be making this little treat box. And it's actually just 2 gift cards that have been attached on the corners. This corner, and then decorated, and then filled with goodies. And then we have a little envelope here that is to and from. So you can tuck that in, your little gift box. These are adorable. I've done 4 of them. And I'm thinking I might get the refill. You can buy just the refill if they're available, if they haven't sold out, of just the goodies. You don't get stamps, and I don't know about adhesives, but you might get adhesives. I'm not sure. I've never bought a refill before, but this is the first time I've even considered it. So I'm going to check that out to see if I can buy just the refill of the paper types of stuffs. Now this is an alternate. Now this green paper here came with the paper pumpkin. Remember I told you to save your tissue paper? So this is the tissue paper. It's a 10 by 10 square of tissue paper that came with the paper pumpkin. And then I have these little bags here. We'll be doing one of these too. I'll show you how to do the. These bags are in the. I don't want to say Christmas holiday catalog, but it's I think it's the August to December mini catalog. So that's where you can get these mosaic treat bags. And then here's one. It's a little bit different. Same thing, but just a little bit different door color here. Okay, so the ink that comes with is Blushing Bride, but I didn't do so well with this last week. I mean, it's okay. I'm happy enough with it, but I prefer using a larger full-size Blushing Bride. So I've got that tonight, and then I've got a full size of Mint Macaron, which is this is the color here. Mint Macaron is this color right here, the lighter green, and then this is Shaded Spruce, this darker green. So these are the 2 ink colors we're going to use. If you just have your blushing bride, then just use your blushing bride. They'll come out just as adorable. Okay, so I did those projects, and I still had a full sheet of the little candies left. So I don't know what I'll do with these, but they're darling. I can find a use for them, I'm sure. So tonight we're going to make that gift box, and we're going to make this is just a little note card. It says a sweet treat for you. So if you don't want to just give a little box of sweets, you could always make some brownies or cookies, Christmas cookies, fudge, whatever you like to make at Christmas time. And then you could tuck this in as a little card to say, who it's from and thank you, and just a note. And it says inside a sweet treat for you. So we're going to be making one of these, and we're going to make one of these. And then you can decide how many more of these you want to make and how many more of these you want to make. So let's get started. I always like to start with our cutting. So we do need to make a bottom. Now this is spiced cider color. So I got some spiced cider cardstock. If you don't have spiced cider cardstock, you can use white cardstock, cream cardstock, craft, crumb cake, whatever you've got you can use, because you're not really going to see it when it's sitting down anyway. But since I had the spiced cider, I used the spiced cider. Okay, so here's our spiced cider. We'll make the little treat box first. So here is all the goodies that we need. Like I said, here's a 10 by 10 sheet of tissue paper. I was able to get 2 of them out of the tissue paper that came with the box. I'll set that aside. We won't need that till we put the treats in. And so this is just a half sheet of the spiced cider cardstock. We're going to start off by making our base. So I'll bring in my Stampin' Up! Trimmer. If you have a Stampin' Up! Trimmer, this will work better for you. Let me make some space here. Need some crafting space. Okay, so this is spiced cider cardstock, and we're going to make the bottom of our little craft box or snack box or treat box. So we need a square that's 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. So here's my 3 3/8 and another 3 3/8. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't mean to slap that down. Hope that did. Okay, so now that we have our 3 3/8 by 3 3/8, whatever cardstock you're going to use. Now I put this back on my trimmer, and I'm glad I did, because I'm actually liking it. It's going to be really good for this particular project. Okay, so I'm going to try to get back into the camera here. So I want to do some scoring. So this is the lighter color one is my scoring tool. I'm going to find 2 7/8 right here. But I don't want to score at 2 7/8. I want to score at 1 millimeter shorter. So I'm going to slide over to the right 1 millimeter. If you're wondering what 1 millimeter is, if you look up at the top, it's in centimeters, bottom's in inches. So find your 2 7/8, and it is actually even with one of the centimeters. So you're just going to slide it over 1 millimeter to the right, and then you're going to score. And you're going to do the same thing again. 2 7/8, 1 millimeter down to the right, and score. And what we're doing, that 1 millimeter is going to give us some easement, so that if it's the same size as the box, it won't fit in there. It'll be too big. So it has to be just a little bit smaller. So 2 7/8, 1 millimeter shorter, score. We got one more to go here. 2 7/8, 1 millimeter shorter, and score. That's it. We're done. Okay. Now we're going to do some cutting. Got my little snips, and I'm going to cut straight up on that corner right there to the line that goes horizontally. And then I'm going to come to the right and cut a little wedge out. So I cut to the little square here. On this side, I'm going to go straight up, go to the left, and cut a wedge. Again on that little flat. Same thing on this side, straight up, to the right, wedge, left side, left, to the left, and then the wedge. All right, that is what we got right there. Now we're going to get our bone folder, and where you've made that score mark, you want that facing you when you push away. That's how you do the scoring. When you have a score line, you score it and then you push away from yourself, which sometimes might, when you first start out, you might think that's a little odd. I did. I thought you should do it the other way, but nope. Nope. I saw videos and I learned real quick. And it does work a lot better if you do it that way. Okay, so we have these 4 little flappies. So I'm going to turn it over. This is the bottom. We're going to put some tear and tape in each one of these little flaps. And they gave us some tear and tape right here. It's similar to the one that we sell. It's a little bit different. I think it's actually easier to work with. Easier to tear. But that's just my opinion. So, hope you guys are doing well tonight. Let's see, here's my bone folder again. Now, something I want to tell you before we get all glue happy and adhesive happy. Usually you would meet these perfectly in the corners. I don't want you to meet them perfectly, okay? I want you to push this one in a little bit so that on your flap it's sticking over just a little bit. So this right here is going to be sticking out a little bit. So let's just go ahead and do that on all 4. Remove the adhesive from the tear and tape. Bring it around and going to give ourselves just a little bit of and that will help us to put it on and get it in there and have plenty of room. Again, just a little bit over, squeeze, remove the tape, a little bit over, squeeze, and this one as well, a little bit over. It's kind of hard, you got to get it back there, and squeeze. Okay, trash run. Now this is going to be where you can see how much I actually did. See, it's just, but they're not all the same. They're just all kind of random, but be sure not to cut your actual box. You're just cutting those little excess things off. So you can see they are very thin, and that's going to help us out here in just a minute. Now these are our bases. That's our base, so it's ready. Now we're going to do our box, and we want to put tear and tape. We're going to tape this here and that here. So we're going to put a strip of tear and tape there and a strip of tear and tape here. Let's go ahead and burnish these folds while we got them out here before we start tearing taping them up. Okay, so tear and tape, tear and tape. I love tear and tape. My fave for doing boxes and things like that. Okay, and then this one as well. just in between there. Okay, I'll burnish it too. That way I'll get a good seal. Now, for right now, we're just going to do one side. And I like to go ahead and match up. It's going to be on this side of the score line. And I'm going to match up those lines here at the bottom. Stay on just on the other side of that score line and then push that down. Now this is ready to make into a box. Okay, so what do we need to do next? We need to make sure that this is going to fit in there. And so I'm putting it around. I see a little bit of space there. I'm going to turn my box just to see if maybe it fits a little. Oh yeah, it fits much better that way. So that's how I'm going to do my box. So I want it in that direction. Here is my tear and tape that I haven't removed yet. I'm not going to put any glue on this flap here. I'm going to get my Tombow multi glue and I'm going to do dots. We're going to do your dot should be about, there should be 1/8 of an inch between your dot and the edge of the cardstock. I'm just going to call it cardstock. And we're going to go all the way across. And you don't want them so big that they're going to ooze. You do want to kind of keep them small. These kind of got a little too big, but I don't think they'll ooze. So basically 1, 2, 3 has glue. This one does not. Here is my tear and tape. So I know that this is where I want that. So I'm just going to wrap that around there and push the sides with my fingers there and there and there. And then I'm also going to grab my bone folder and kind of push against the sides as well. Give it a little bit of resistance just for a few seconds, and then when I feel like it's you know, ready, I'm going to take it and I'm going inside and I'm just going back and forth like this on the inside of that base. I'll open it up so you can see what I'm doing. See, I'm just going back and forth like that on the base, making sure that is sticking. And that glue does dry pretty quickly, so we should be fine. Alright, so when you think that it's get your corners too. When you think that it's going to be all right, we're going to go ahead and do glue here. 1, 2, 3. You're going to glue across here. First, remove this tear and tape. Get your dots of glue. Just go around across the center. Little dots of glue. And then I'm going to tuck one underneath here too. Like that. Put my lid on my glue so it doesn't dry out. I'm going to start on this end and kind of just walk it over. Because you know that tear and tape, you got to get it like right the first time. And I'm going to go inside and do that. Crease that tear and tape as well. Burnish it. Burnish some tear and tape on this side too. Alright, so I think our box is just about ready. And there's my inside, if you want to see the inside. If there's a space in the corners, which there probably will be, I can see through it, but you know, it's not going to be that big of a deal. As long as your sides are glued together. Just make sure they're all glued together. And I think that's going to be good there. Now I think we're going to do the little envelope that goes in there. is one of those, it's one of those, these, it's just plain. Because I saw this and I'm like, what can I do with this? It doesn't have any of the pretty things on it, the candies or the doors or anything. What am I going to do with it? So I decided to make a little envelope out of it. So let's get our scoring tool out again. And where you can see there's a round, kind of a rounded scallop there on the corner, the very corners right here. You're going to score just below that rounded cornered scallop there. That's going to be the top of your envelope. So put that in your track for your scoring and then score it. So I've scored it right here across. And now I'm going to lay it back down in there and go to 1 1/4 inches. And I'm going to score again. So now I have 1 1/4 right here, and then I have this. So I'm just going to kind of do that just a little bit so I can see where these are, because I'm going to stamp on this when we start our stamping. So I'm going to use mint macaron ink, but if you don't have mint macaron, you can just use the Blushing Bride. Okay, so we have one of these with the candies with the heart. We have one with the candies and like a little door up at the top. We have one of the labels with the mint macaron and one of the labels with, I think that's Calypso Coral myself. So let's see, let's do our mint macaron first. I've got my D block. If you know me, I usually use my Stamparatus, but I really do love to do block stamping, and it's fun. But you do have to have your ink pads well inked, or you'll be sad. And this one is getting a little dry, so I'm hoping it holds out. So I've got the one that looks like a horseshoe, and it goes over the door just like we did last week, just like that. And you know what, I should have my pad. This is the deluxe pad for the Stamparatus. If you turn it over, that foam is really a perfect surface for you to be stamping on with your photopolymer stamps. So I'm going to do this one as well, and I'm going to put that there and hope it looks good. And now I'm going to use this, which I'm starting to use this now, especially with when you use your blocks. It's the whatchamacallit, chamois. It's wet. It's probably a little too wet. But anyway, it cleans your stamps for you. You can see I'm going to have to dry that off. But I was in a hurry and I just ran some water over it, and I'm like, I got to get on there. So this is the other little curly Q stamp that we get, and it's going to go like this, where the little cutout is there. That's going to go over the heart. So try to get in camera. So there we go. And that's that one. Now I'm going to do this one. Same thing. There we go. And let's see. You know what? I'm thinking, since we got our ink out, let's go ahead and do our stamping for our treat card too. I did green with that too, so I'm going to grab that. It's one of the cards that has the star, which I need to punch out, and the door, and it has like a candy cane around it. So I should have thought of that before, but duh. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I'll have to grab that other stamp and do the bottom here too. Clean that off. And do around the door of this one in the mint macaron. And there we go. And I think that's all for this stamp. But now we got to come back to this stamp again and do our envelope. Okay, I'm going to set this aside because that's actually for the next project. So here's our envelope. So an envelope is going to open this way. So with the arrow down, the pointing down, you're going to stamp this in the center. Make sure I can see where that is. It's kind of hard to see where that crease is. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it around with the arrowy thing going up, and I'm going to stamp in the center square of my envelope. And that is that. So now we can clean that one off. Next is this little curly Q thing here. It has it's like a little flower, and it has like a little stem on it. Let me get my B block and put that on there. So now I'm going to stamp it, turn it back around and stamp it with the stem going down. See how the stem is going down? And I didn't quite, I think I should have done it a little bit lower, but it'll be fine. It will be fine. Okay, so there's our envelope. Now we need to do our sayings. For this, we need Happy Holidays in Petal Pink and A Sweet Treat in Petal Pink. This is, oh my goodness, I did this in Shaded Spruce. Oops. But you can use mint macaron if you don't have Shaded Spruce. Let me grab it. I didn't think I'd used it, but I did. But you can use mint macaron, or you can use Blushing Bride. Okay, so Blushing Bride for these two. A Sweet Treat for You. And it fits perfectly in this, the green one. The green label. Oops, I got water on it. Dry it off. All right, so, and that's the wrong color. I need Blushing Bride. Sorry. Blushing Bride, come here. I need you. Come here, come here. No, Candy wants to come too. Okay, here we go. Yeah, if you use the full size, you will like that so much better. Dry this off, my microfiber cloth. It's I want to make sure it's good and dry. I used the wrong color on it, so I had to clean it off. Okay, so A Sweet Treat for You in Blushing Bride. Okay, there we go. And then on this one is going to be Happy Holidays. Let me clean that off. Sweet Treat for You. And Happy Holidays is here. Happy Holidays are here. And that's embellishing bright as well. These are so fun. I hope I can get a refill. Yeah, Lynn, I am too. I am too. Starting to love it. Okay, so clean off my happy holidays. Put away my blushing bride. Get my shaded spruce out. Now, like I said, if you don't have the shaded spruce, use whatever you have. And now I'm going to do a happy holidays. Where is it? Here it is. I'm going to do one of these in shaded spruce. That's going to go on the front. Oops, look, it didn't go all the way. Bah. And then inside, Sweet Treat. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and cut this flap off of here. And guess what? It then becomes a little card. And there goes the flap. Fold it, burnish it, and now we have a card where we're going to stamp a sweet treat for you. Clean off my happy holidays. Sweet treat for you, shaded spruce or whatever you have. And just wherever it's kind of in the center, hopefully level. There we go. I think that's all of our stamping. Pretty sure. Luckily the happy holidays, this happy holidays goes in the back, I believe. No, it goes on the front, doesn't it? Darn. That's why I like my stamp apparatus. Oh well. Whoever gets the treat will not be too sad, I'm sure. They'll be more interested in what's inside instead of what's outside. All right, so here's our box. Let's go back to our box. We're going to use our two gummy doors. I'm going to put the heart in the front. We'll get these awesome Stampin' dimensionals. Lost my, oh, that was my stomach growling. I hope you don't mind. I hope you didn't hear it. It was moaning mostly. I don't know why. It's been fed. So. Yeah, it's been fed well too, so I don't know why it's moaning. Okay, so here's all my things. And so we'll remove these off of here. This is kind of the tedious part, you know. Patience is a virtue kind of thing. The way I like to do this is I hold it over, I center the door, and then I look at this line here along the line of my and I make sure those are level and even and that my door is covered, and the rest just kind of takes care of itself. So that's my technique if you want to use it to help you, because once this is down, not going to be easy to get it back up, so better to get it done right the first time. So over the door, centered, level with this line, and then press it down. Great, awesome. So in the front by the heart I have Happy Holidays. So I'm going to use some, well, first I'm going to clean that mess off there. I'm just going to use some of my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to put a strip of that on there. Make sure it's even on both ends here and level with the bottom. And before I press it down, of course, I'm going to look at it and make sure that it looks right. And then on the back is where we're going to put a sweet treat for you. Actually, I wanted the sweet treat for you in the front by the heart, but you know what? It is what it is. Same thing, just going to put it there. Make sure it's level and press it down. Okay, we've got that. Got that. Now we're going to do this. We need to do this. So let's bring in our card. This time we're not going to put any dimensionals on. We're going to just, I'm going to use snail. Whoops, I said snail, didn't I? Whoops, wash my mouth out. Stampin' seal. You can use the little dots, the glue dots that came with your kit. If you don't have any Stampin' seal, these, just put some dots around it. And again, I'm just going to level it off here over that door and press it down. Get my happy holidays that's messed up, but I'll give that to someone who's really a good friend that will only care, like a child, maybe grandkid. They just want the candy. They won't care what is in it. All right, so here's my envelope. Now, you know what? We forgot to put to and from. So let's grab our to and from stamp. It's one of the things I like about this stamp set. It has the to and from. It's not always easy to get a to and from in a stamp set. So you might want to hang on to this for other occasions as well. And this is going to be in Blushing Bride. Again, here. Put that away. To from. Oh, look, I got something on my paper. Boo. To from. Easy peasy. I hope I was in camera. And I can see that I need a tissue or something. So I got some ink on my table. And I don't have a tissue, so I wonder if I can use this tissue. Yeah, it works. Tissue paper. It works well enough. At least get it off my table. Okay, it's a new desk too. I don't want it messed up. All right, so here is our to and from. We're done with our stamping. And put our ink away, make sure it clicks, because it can fool you. So here's our happy holidays, a sweet treat for you. So our card's done. So now I have 2 cards I can give out treats to. Now we need to do our little goodies here. So here's some of these. I guess I'm going to use these. I'm going to use 2 rows. I want a shaded spruce in the front. I'm going to get my whatchamacallit. We have a lot of whatchamacallits in my family. This is your, take your pick tool. So I put my shaded spruce right there. Kind of dress that up a little bit. Now on the sides, we're going to do a picked mint macaron, because I used mint macaron. So I'm going to put it right here on the edge, and it's even with the center of that. So that kind of tells you where it's going to go. So that, then I'm going to do pink, petal pink, right next to it, even. Now these do come off pretty well, so if you get to the end and you find that it's not straight, as long as you don't push it down a lot, you can move them around. And then Calypso Coral. I'm guessing that's Calypso Coral. All right, this one's a little high. This one's a little high. Okay, that's good enough. So I'm just going to go in and pinch these. Same thing. Now I'm going to start with my knit macaron here. It's going to go right there. And then Petal Pink, or Blushing Bride. We did have a Petal Pink. I don't think we do anymore. I think it's retired. And then Daffodil Delight. And then Calypso Coral. And that looks pretty good. So pinch, 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 pinch. Now, for this, you know what? We didn't do the to and from for that either. So grab the to and from again. It's still on the block. I think I did that in Blushing Bride. That's what I'm going to do it in anyway. So to and from on the inside here. Clean my stamp. All right. Now we're done with our stamping. I hope, unless I figure something else out that I forgot. Okay, so this might hold. Let me burnish this so it stays closed better. My little envelope. I'm gonna put my, so this is gonna act like a seal. Half of it goes on the envelope top and half of it goes on the envelope. Now if you later on you find that it's coming loose, you can put a little glue dot there. But for now, I'd rather have it so that they can open it and shut it. All right, so that's that. We've got our goodies. Now let's get our paper and our treat. And for my treat, I'm using, oh, hi Hank. Yeah, I have snail too, Lynn. Sorry, I just seen this. Yeah, I have a stash of snail. I use it for special things, but for, you know, other things like videos, I have to use current products, so that's what I'm using. So I got these at Aldi's. I was so glad to find some. I don't know too many people that don't like York peppermint patties, so I think we're okay with that. But if you got a favorite or somebody you're giving it to has a favorite. So here's our 10 by 10 sheet. I'm just going to kind of bring it up here and bring this up here and bring this up here and make this into like a point. These are like little wings, if you can see. One, two, three, four. So now I'm just going to kind of do this. And then I'm going to stick it in here like this. And I'll put a couple of these in. One, two. I'm actually going to put them in sideways. Like this. Sideways like that. So it holds shape better. So I'm putting 4 in the bottom, as you can see. And I'm going to straighten out these. I should have 4 little peaks sticking out. Okay, so there's my 4 peppermint patties in the bottom there. And my 4 peaks. And now I'm going to get a green, a red, and a green. And maybe a red. And I can kind of, you know, make them pretty and stick this in. after I filled it out and said, you know, who it's to and who it's from. And this is actually the front right here. So there's our sweet treat. Crunch that up a little bit. So I don't know why this paper is bigger than that paper. It should have been 10 by 10, I think it was. So this will be a nice treat. I've got it backwards, don't I? This will be a nice treat to give someone. Sweet treat for you. That's our box. Now, I wanted to show you the other thing that I can do here is this. If you use this bag is from our holiday catalog, and I actually found it. It's on page 60. It's the mosaic gusseted cellophane bags, and there's 25 bags that you get. So I'm just going to open that up. I found that it's easier if this is diagonal here across. So just stick that in diagonally if you can. You got to kind of make it flat and then stick it in there. It won't go all the way down until you put candy in it. I guess it wants candy. So again, I think I can fit 4 sideways down there. Green, red, green, red. I'm alternating them. And then when you get those, you can push it down. I'm pulling that up too because I need to have a good amount of that top up at the top. So I'm pushing the candy down, pulling the plastic up. And so I think I have enough now that I can. So there we go. A little bit of a fight, but we won. And now we're going to have a green, red, green. Where are you, green? Nope, that's a red. Green, red, green. Just have to alternate, that's all. So green, red, and green. So there's 7. I think that's enough. Now push that down a little bit. To tie this off, I'm using some of the gold thread that came with, I'll show you here. I tied it off with some of this gold thread from the annual catalog. It comes Forever Greenery Trim Combo Pack. It comes with 10 yards of the gold thread and 5 yards of this linen. Really pretty, soft linen like ribbon. But if you want to, if you're in a pinch and you don't want to do an order, you can go to a craft store and get some gold metallic embroidery thread, and it will work too. So I forget how much. I measured it around my waist because I didn't have any, so it looks like it was about 16, about 2 feet. So 12 and 12. Must have a big waist, huh? Well, I do, but we're not going to go there. Okay, so I'm going to, try to bring this down here a little bit and tighten this up. Because you know when you're on camera, everything is so much harder than it is normally. So, okay, so I'm tightening it up. Go around this one and around this one. And then come to the front. I'm going to tie it off in a knot. So there's one. and then again in a knot. I hope I left myself enough for a bow. I think I did. So there's my knot, here's my bow, just like shoelace. And I think the fraying is actually part of the look. So if it's fraying, just think that just makes it that much prettier. Then see how it looks kind of pretty there where it's frayed. Okay, so there's my bow. Where'd you go, bow? Oh goodness. I cut my bow too short. There, I'll fix it later. Make it even. And then you just fill out the to and from. It's to so-and-so, from so-and-so right here. And you can use your little thing to tuck it in there or tuck it in the back, wherever you think it looks good. And you are good to go with your treat box. And so I made 4 treat boxes with my kit. I made 4 treat boxes, and I made 2 little note cards, and I made 3, let me get them, 3 gift cards. So I think that's a pretty good deal, and all the fun that you got to have to make them, and simple, stress-free stamping for the most part, unless you stress like me, you perfectionist. But yeah, so check out that refill if you want to order that refill. I'm gonna go check it out right now and see if they have sold out yet. Hopefully they haven't, but who knows. Well, thanks for joining me. Yes, Lynn, get yourself over to Aldi's while they still have some. They have a lot of Christmas goodies there. German cookies, Lebkuchen, Dominosteine, marzipan, all kinds of stuff at Aldi's. I was really surprised. And it's from Germany. It's not, you know, American knockoffs. We lived in Germany for 4 years when my husband was in the military, and we loved it. It's a beautiful country. So, but we missed some of the things, and some of the things we missed was the Christmas goodies, which is the Lebkuchen and so forth. All right, well, I love you guys. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you Friday if I don't forget for FYI Friday. All right, bye now. See you later.